Yo, it is your host with the most, KDK Capri, your mentor and your mentee. Um, we, uh, wow, I've been looking like, it's been almost a month since I dropped the episode. So I want to dive right in and just, just let everybody know, like, what's been going on. I've been just trying to just build this business that I just opened, just trying to, navigate through life and, just seeing new opportunities, seeing new ways to win, new ways to make money, right? And just keep on growing and keep investing in myself has been basically the agenda for the last like 2 years, honestly. But just always finding new opportunities to capitalize on and just finding new ways to win is, just always what I'm worried about. So just coming back with another podcast episode. I try to come back as often as possible, but I also don't want to come back with just repetitive and redundant, topics. I want to come back with, real life experiences. So it took me almost a week to write this week's episode. So this week's episode, I just want to ask everyone a question, like, why aren't you thinking about passive income, right? Why aren't you thinking about being your own boss? Why aren't you thinking about becoming your own business, becoming your own brand, right? So, just growing up uneducated, somewhat naive as young adults, we tend to worry about, the bottom line, the bare minimum. Become stagnant and fed, right? Not hungry. We look at future like it's just so far away. So far away that we can't see what's in front of us. We can't see opportunities that are here right now because we're so worried about, well, I don't have time because I have to work in the morning, because I have to hit my rent. I have to pay my bills on time. I have kids to take care of. But why aren't you thinking about passive income, right? We aren't worried about starting a business, especially like me. I know growing up, my dad was in and out of prison. My mom was always working. And if she wasn't working, we just watched TV and did things like cooking, eating out. So I never knew anything about credit. I never knew anything about financial literacy. I never knew anything about being a boss. I never knew anything about doing, something for myself, right? So I thought credit was either for the rich or for the dummies. So I never focused on progressing myself, right? I always focused on just trying to keep my head above water, trying to stay afloat. So just trying to, trying to get out of that focus from only, being focused on staying comfortable. I was never focused on education. I got in a car accident when I was about 15 or 16. After that, I just figured I just want to go back to school. And my brother, he's incarcerated, but he was the only one in my family to get a high school education, which is crazy. But like I said, we were never focused on anything about education, right? I was just focused on how to make a quick buck. One day, and like, it's crazy how things like change so quick for some people. Like, some people can make overnight change, some people can make gradual change, but that mindset switch happens overnight, right? So like, one day I was just doing some mindless scrolling. I was watching an ad about drop shipping. If you don't know what drop shipping is just where you outsource products and you just sell them on your own through your own platform, right? So I was looking at an ad about a drop shipping store, and it just, it was for free. So they were talking about, giving you a free store, and you just had to pay that platform fee for Spotify. If anybody doesn't know what Spotify is, go look it up. If you don't know what Spotify is, then I'm not going to explain it. But then, then they even let me upgrade with five handpicked products. So you could either buy the store and just, add your products on manually, or you can upgrade and add not only your store, but then you can add 5 handpicked products that are, just built to win, right? And I remember it was in like 2022. It was in 2023. I was getting my 2022 tax return, right? And I had a few bucks to spend, right? But they were offering brand coaching, just showing you how to find winning products, how to make eye-catching ads, just helping me buy my time back, right? And, just showing you how to, just scale this business, right? So I was like, okay, I can set myself apart from my job. This is how I create a new business that can replace my job that I'm working right now. This is when I was working in fast food. And keep in mind, I was only like 19, right? So I was looking for something to help me replace my job, help me buy my time back. This was like the first time I was introduced to drop shipping, first time I was introduced to social media marketing, first time I even heard about being a consumer and a seller, right? So the difference between a consumer and a seller, right? So I had a personal coach, right? Uh, Short story, I mean, long story short, I bought the product, bought the store. It's called Lemizio Shop. And I went through a few different names, but I landed on Lemizio. And, I had a coach. His name was William. So we had weekly calls. He showed me, what ads would work, success stories, giving me encouragement, showing me how to stay consistent. So I broke down my month of trying to grow this business and get my first sale, right? Then my second, and then just consistent sales, right? Because that's what you want to break it down to. You want to get your first sale, then you want to get your next sale, then you want to get consistent sales, right? So I just was testing one product a week. So it was like $50 a week. And William, he opened my mind, right? He showed me, what would work, right? He showed me proven systems, right? So I broke down my month into, I would test one product a week. So I would be spending 3-4 hours a week, which is not a lot of time. It's like 30 minutes a day, even less. Doing product research, two, three ads for each product. And then by Wednesday, I would have my call with William, and we worked on my Shopify store, my brand, my target audience, even breaking down domains, SEO, email marketing, everything under the sun, right? So I was starting to get into this mindset of, okay, I'm not a consumer anymore. Now I am a seller, right? Let me turn this off. Sorry about that. Forgot to silence the phone before I got on the podcast, right? But so, like I said, I got into a mindset of not being a consumer anymore. I was a seller, right? A business-minded individual. I was looking at everything as a business-minded individual now. And I always was. And that's why I knew that, William and the BrandBox brand would give me just that type of push that I needed to start my own business, right? Because I always knew I wanted to start my own business. I always knew I wanted to be a mogul. I always knew I wanted to make money. But I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to start with. I just knew I had the money to invest, right? So I would have my call every Wednesday. We worked on my store, so going strong with William in the program, in the BrandBox program for over like a year. I didn't make one sale for over a year, like over 12 months. I think it was about like 15 months. And I think I made my first sale in April of 2024, right? I was in the program for over a year. And, and I invested over 3K, 3 bands into this venture. I only made $70 on my first sale. After that, I was hungry to get another sale. Like, I was like, okay, now it's starting to pay off, because I was watching YouTube shorts, when you get to scrolling and you just find some stuff, right? And I saw Ice Cube on an interview, and he said, if you're not willing to put at least 5 bands in 5 years without making any money into your business, then you don't want to have a business, right? So I was like, okay, I spent this money. It's only been a year. Like, I only made $70, but that's a percentage of, $70. You can get to 3K, only make $70, a few times, right? And I think the product was just like this. It was just this big, like, it was like a lamp or something. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like one of those lamps that, a diffuser, but it also was a lamp. That's what it was. And, it was for like $60 plus the shipping. So I was like, okay, I got $70. I can pay for my Shopify monthly subscription, which is like $40. Then I get an extra $50, or $30 from other side jobs. I get another extra $50, $30, from other side jobs. I can go test another product, or, I was feeling that momentum, right? Like, this was my break. Like, this was my start to replacing my job. This was the way to find my passive income product, right? So, like, I was, like I said, I had that momentum. So like the very next day, I was logging into my Shopify account just to see if like I made any other progress, right? and I seen a bill for the month, and it was like $278, I believe. Yeah, about 278. It was a processing fee, and if for anyone's first order that they fulfilled with the I think it was like Spocket, or it might have been somebody else, Amazon fulfiller or something like that. And it was news to me, like, when you start scrolling through and they say, hey, you have to agree to this to get on the platform, you just scroll to the bottom and you just say accept, right? So I never really read through it. It was Spocket or Amazon Spreader, one of those apps, and it charged me a $278 processing fee just for my first order. And I'm like, whoa. I was just like, I felt defeated, right? I felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I felt like I wasn't doing my due diligence, and I was like, okay, well, I just made $70 after spending $3K, and you want me to spend $300 more, which I haven't even made yet. I don't even have that in my pocket right now to where I can spend that and just spend it on just you charging me for a processing fee, just a one-time processing fee. That was crazy to me, right? So I immediately after that, I just shut the store down, right? I made a decision to just let the store go, right? After dedicating like a year of my life to this store, I sadly closed Lemizio shop. And, I actually felt relieved, right? Like, I felt like I had some weight off my shoulders, right? But, because I already had so much on my shoulders at the time, I was in a cold calling class that showed you how to buy storage spaces, laundromats, car washes, etc. I was taking a business entity class, that focused on, just showing you how to set up your business, showing you what things to do when you're worried about come tax time. What else was I in? I was taking a class. I was in a production class. I was in like 15 different Discord communities, right? So many different things I couldn't put 100% of my focus into at that time, right? So I just had so many things on my plate that I didn't even give the store enough focus that it needed, right? Like one day, Mondays was shop day, Tuesdays were work day and relax day, Wednesdays were work days, and then come back and work on your product research. It was just so many different little things that I was doing to try to make big progress, and I was trying to make big progress only doing things in little increments, right? But not making big progress, right? If you can make little changes and make huge progress, but when you make small gradual changes, it depends on what type of thing you're trying to accomplish. So when I'm trying to change my life, I'm trying to change my family's life, small increments of change doesn't work. You have to be able to put in the work, right? So I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I had so many different things and so much things to do and so little time, right? That, I just closed the drop shipping store. And, I was trying to run a business and start another business. I mean, like, I was just unsure. I was so curious just to ask what will work the fastest, right? So I was stuck. I was uncertain where to go. I had to restart and reset so many times. And any entrepreneur knows, like, you just have to start and reset so many times because you don't know what's going to work, and you always want to dive into new opportunities, but you don't want to say, okay, I let this opportunity go 2 years ago and now I'm looking back at it and I wish I would have took that opportunity. So at that time I was taking every opportunity that I could just to see what will work, not really finding my passion, not really finding my focus, not really finding my discipline and my motivation. That's why my business has failed. I didn't have any type of foundation. I didn't have any type of plan. I just said, okay, if I can put money into this and it's going to come back to me double, perfect. Right. So, I was just curious on what would make the fastest money the easiest. So I started trading time for money. I was unable to grasp the concept of buying my time back, right? Like spending time with my family, taking trips. That was so far from where I was. Like me walking, that's like me walking from California to New York. It was just two different spectrums, right? Two different spectrums. So I was just stuck. And, just me restarting and resetting, right? I had to become a business owner, someone who wanted to grow, someone who wasn't afraid to learn. And, that's one thing I see so often. Like, you're not necessarily, like, if you are someone who wants to learn but doesn't take constructive criticism, you don't want to learn. So you have to learn how to craft yourself. You have to learn how to be able to take criticism, whether it's constructive or not. And you just have to be someone who needed, that confidence. And stop dimming your light to let others shine, right? We all have our time. Like, one thing, I have something in my living room, and it says, the sun and the moon don't shine at the same time because it's not their time. It says, along the lines of that. The sun comes up when it's time for the sun to come up. The moon comes up when it's time for the moon to come up. And it's all 12 hours a day. It's only 24 in a day. So just think about when it's your time to shine. Grow that confidence. Stop dimming your light to help others shine, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. So one day I was looking through my stuff for some reason. I don't know why. I don't even remember. But I just, spent some money on investing in myself. I seen 2 books on my desk. Like sometimes I would just buy stuff, and like, I don't know if anybody has done this, but sometimes I would just get into programs, never would go to like the webinars or the masterminds. I would just buy it and then it would just sit there. So, or I would take like the first few lessons in the class, and I just would just say, whatever. But I came across these 2 books that I ordered maybe about a month or 2 back. And it was Russell Brunson's, 2 books. I had ordered I think it was when he was doing like the 3-day funnel hacker class. I think that's what it was called. And I went to the 3 days. I was at work. I was watching it. I didn't really get to take notes, but I watched it. I even screen recorded it. I don't know if that's illegal or not, but I did that, and I rewatched it, took my own notes, right? But I think the first 2 books was, if I lose everything in 30 days and all I had was my ClickFunnels book and my experience, right? What would I do? So I had that, and I had the ClickFunnels cookbook, which was a book that everyone should read, right? It was a whole book of successful entrepreneurs from Myron Golden to Grant Cardone, saying what they would do if they lost everything and only had a 30-day subscription to ClickFunnels and their experience in their field, right? Then, of course, I had the ClickFunnels cookbook, which just shows you how to make, just gives you all the recipes to be successful with ClickFunnels, right? So, like, each of these entrepreneurs in this book, like, explained how they would start and scale their business from consulting to fitness training, right? So it speaks on mindset. It speaks on, just making a way for yourself, making a way for your family, growing that foundation. But it opened my mind, making myself accessible, staying accountable, creating a community for my business, right? That was something big to me. I wanted to create a community. So, it just started to change my life completely. Right? Like, it opened my mind to making myself accessible, so like the second I read a few of these pages and I used a few of these proven systems, it helped me create such generational wealth. And I like literally hit a 360 mentally. Like, the next few years of my life, I would be focused on creating passive income, starting and scaling a business over time, finding my audience, finding my brand, buying back my time. So like, I broke this down into 4 steps, right? And I want to get into some work. I know this was a big backstory, but I want to get into some work this episode. So I want to talk about breaking down the cycle of starting a business, right? Thinking about what legacy you want to leave. What are you leaving behind for the people behind you? After you and after them, right? So how do you do this? How do you find a successful business that is going to create that passive income and help you start and scale, right? So me personally, I broke it down into a proven system. These are proven steps that I've taken from other systems and put my own spin on it, put my own cookie cutter, type of program on it, right? So step 1, 4 steps, right? Acknowledging you need to make change in your life. This is the most important step, right? Like, addicts, they have to first acknowledge that they are an addict before they can try and change their life, right? So you can't fix something if you don't think it's wrong. You can't become a different person if you don't think that what you're doing is, needs to change, right? So just seeking to be in the right room for improvement. You have to want to create that environment. The environment that you're in is everything, right? So, changing the way you look at yourself in the mirror. Like, look at this. Like, we spend 12 years of our lives learning the basics in school, learning skills. Then we're expected to go off to college. That's when we get to pick a topic that we learn, but only it's a selected choice. Like, you can only be a doctor. You can't go to school for being you can't go to school for being a janitor. Like, you can't go to school for being an astronaut or whatever the case may be. Like, there's certain things that you can't go to school for. You have to choose from their pool, right? So I just looked at 1st through 12th grade, right? You learn so much over time, over the years. You found new ways to make money. You found ways to heal. You found, ways, to hold yourself down, right? You didn't get that in school. You got that from life, right? So look at life in your entrepreneurial journey as your school years. Your 1st through 12th grade, you are focused on just building the basics. You are focused on just preparing, right? And now you're on your way to college, right? It's after it's after your senior year. You graduated. You pick what your major is. You get to choose what skills you want to obtain and what skills you want to leave behind. You're leaving home. You're leaving the nest. You're becoming independent in your career and taking control of your life. But your dependence, you're dependent on these skills, right? This is how you navigate through life, right? If I'm a doctor, I want to place myself in certain situations where doctors are going to thrive, right? So I will want to go to certain type of health seminars. I will want to go to award shows to where they're giving, Nobel prizes or whatever the case may be. Put yourself in that position, right? So after you leave the nest, you're becoming independent. You're taking control of things. You're going to use this. You're going to use all the skills that you've obtained before you graduated 1st to 12th to make that money, right? Right now, you're a student. Acknowledge where you need to be. Learn more. Map out what you need to build on and what you need to break down. So when I say use this as your 1st through 12 years, this is your 1st through senior year. This is your kindergarten through high school years. You have to prepare. You have to acknowledge things. You have to grow on things so that when you do get to the point where you find your major and you find where, you want to be an expert in your field, now you're going to graduate that college. You're a college graduate. Don't be Kanye. Don't be no college dropout. Take your time. Acknowledge where you need to learn, right? And use them college years. Like, everybody that I've known, I never went to college, but everybody that I knew that went to college, most of them people thought that those were like the best years of my life. I had time to learn myself. I had time to learn about other things. I had time to have great different conversations. I had time to have fun at the same time. So use that as your time to grow and build your foundation, right? So, step 2, you're going to set yourself up to win. This is the transition. You're making a decision, not a choice. You want to make options, but choose wisely. You want to make sure you have options. But like, one thing I always try to do is I don't make options that are the last option. So you go from an A to a B to a C. You don't go from A to Z. Choose wisely. You want to create cushion, right? You want to, but you don't want to be too comfortable, right? You want to give yourself a little bit of cushion in case you fall. You don't want to fall on your back pockets. You want to fall on a cushion, right? You want to be stable, but not satisfied. So look for your ceiling, right? What is holding you back? What's your excuse? No time, no babysitter, no money. What's your why, though? Finding your winning environment is the only way you can truly capitalize on opportunities, the only way you can truly create a different type of environment, setting yourself up to win, right? That transitional energy, right? So just truly capitalize on opportunities, create unmatched value, right? That is that foundation that you created in your coming up years, right? That's that foundation that you created. That's that unmatched value that you have, right? So your potential is as big as you want it to be. So what needs to change in your home? Do you need to hire a cleaner to buy back some time? Do you need to clean out your refrigerator and start eating healthy? What needs to change in your career? Is your job a positive reflection of your values, right? Does it pay your bills? Does it pay the bills that you need it to pay? Are you happy in your field? Like, Do you need another job? Do you need to quit? Do you need to downgrade to get some more time back? Do you need to upgrade to feel more valuable? What does this look like to you, right? What energy do you need to create that new life, right? To build this foundation, right? So just think about what environment you need to set yourself up to win, right? What is that transition you need to make? It's gradual. It can be overnight. It can be over years. It can be, something that you don't even have a timestamp on. Is that you just, when you feel like you're ready to take that step, that's when you take it, right? So step three, find your golden ticket. This is like, what is the thing that you love to do, right? That someone will not hesitate to pay you because they hate to do it, right? Like, one thing I can capitalize on is, like, I hate doing my taxes. I hate doing spreadsheets. I hate doing payroll. I hate it. But I hired a team and they're like, yeah, I love it. I want to, send it over to me. And I'm like, okay, now I'm getting things done, right? And, that's a couple $100, maybe $1,000, couple bucks that I could have kept in my pocket. But for what? Then I would be sitting at home all day pulling my hair out, trying to figure out how I'm going to make this spreadsheet, right? Don't do that. Find your golden ticket. Find, what value you bring to the table that contributes to the meal, right? What are you bringing to the table that's helping people eat, right? What makes everyone eat around you? So find your golden ticket. For me, it was teaching. Like, I found out being a student to a mentor makes me the best teacher, right? So I became a mentor, a public speaker. It allows me to enjoy my work and service my clients, my people, to enhance their life, right? So which people will pay anything for? Like, think about, what is your happiness worth? Like, can you put a price on it? No, you can't. Like, what is your well-being, your mental clarity worth to you? It's priceless, right? So what is your golden ticket, right? Once you find out that, you have to dig deep, right? Dig deep into that rabbit hole. Digging deep is always better than just digging a little hole and then turning around and going to dig another hole, right? You have to be an expert in your field. So, always dive deeper, give better value. This is how you create depth and awareness, right? This is how you find that golden ticket that anybody is willing to say, okay, I might not have the money for it now, but I am going to get to a point where I can win enough to where I can pay for K Capri's building program, where I can pay for her book, where I can pay for her mastermind, where I can pay for her class, because this is what I'm willing to do to pay for this happiness. This is what I'm willing to do to pay for my well-being, my mental clarity, whatever, whatever service I'm rendering, right? So find your golden ticket, right? Number 4, and the last step, understanding the basics, right? Like, I wanted to break these steps down into something that was, something that you haven't heard before, right? So breaking down barriers it comes easy when you take things. So, like, I can let somebody, into my life, and I can be open and I can be transparent, but I also have to put up barriers and I have to put up blocks to where people know, like, you can't do this. Like, you can't walk into my house, even if the door is unlocked, without knocking and announcing yourself, right? Go at your own pace, right? Learn as you go. Like, learn how to fly the plane while you're riding it, right? Put yourself in uncomfortable situations and remember the basics, right? Like I'll put myself in certain situations. I might not want to have a conversation with somebody, but I still just put myself in that situation just so I can go with, just stand on my instincts and stand on my personal values, right? Like, if somebody comes into a conversation that I'm having and say, perfect example, when I work at the bar and somebody comes in and they're like, I need you to train this person. I don't like to train, but I also remember I'm a teacher. Get down to the basics. Teach them the basics. Everything is going to be good. Now, if they can't, pick it up, maybe I need to switch my approach. Maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to do that. So it's always about a personal development, right? Setting yourself up to win, right? Finding that golden ticket. Why people learn from me better than they may learn from somebody else, right? So, like, when you put yourself in those situations, if you lack confidence, break it down to the basics, like maintaining eye contact, smiling, ask everyone how they're doing, sparking conversation, basic things that can create that new environment and experience that you're willing to, capitalize and build on, right? So put your career in perspective, put your life into the rear view and go all gas, no brakes, right? Put your career in the front scope, in that front mirror. Put your past and everything that you have behind you in the rear view. Most people, like 99.9% of people, know When you drive, you don't look at the rear view as much as you look at your front windshield, right? You don't look straight. You don't look in your rear views more than you look straight and ahead of the road, right? Because you always want to look ahead, right? So that's meaning like just don't stop at one goal. Always look for new ways to innovate, enhance. Yeah, so it is KDK Capri, the mentor, the mentee. I know we just interrupted your video, but I want to extend everybody the invitation to just get a 15-minute strategy call with me, the one and only mentor mentee. Just giving you guys some new strategies, some new ways to win, some new ways to stay stress-free, some new ways to stay on the path that you are meant to be on. Excuse the haircut. I'm trying to get it right, but like I said, click the link below, hit me on my link tree. We can get together just for 15 minutes and just have a call and just, get some insight and get some more education, dropping that knowledge, that free game. Click the link below.